This is the biggest reason that women in their 20s and 30s can't stick to their fitness and healthy eating goals long enough to actually see the results that they want. Today, I'm going to tell you why so many women have struggled for years to find consistent, healthy eating and fitness habits that don't feel overwhelming or like they take over their entire life before they eventually totally fall off track with them and feel so bad about it. Yeah, we're done with that. And if you stick around until the end, I'm sharing exactly how you can break this cycle so that you can finally find those long-term consistent habits that you've been looking for, that don't feel overwhelming, that actually feel like they fit into your life, and that make you feel like you have your best eating and your best health and your best fitness all manageable in your life. It'll make you actually want to go to the gym, actually want to cook at home, actually do your journaling and your self-care, not just for this week, but for the entire year. This is how I've helped countless clients break this cycle that they're stuck in, where they're feeling so defeated and like the problem is them, before they eventually go all back into their healthy habits, trying to completely revamp their lifestyle, only to burn out again and get stuck back in this cycle. I show them how to get back in the gym, simplify their grocery shopping and home cooking, get consistent with that self-care, make time for the journaling in a way that doesn't feel like it's a chore, actually feels like it's a treat, and overall just show up for themselves consistently so that they can have their best mental and physical health. Now, before I figured out the secret to doing this, I struggled so much with the exact same things. I was a chronic yo-yo dieter. I struggled with my eating disorder for a long time, and every single week there was something else that I was all in to figuring out or committing to as far as my fitness and my eating. Whether I saw dairy or gluten as the devil that week, I convinced myself I was addicted to sugar. I was putting myself on new workout plans every single Sunday because I was convinced that I was doing something wrong, and that was why my weight loss was plateauing at the time. All of it would only last a few weeks, and then I would inevitably fall off the wagon with it and blame myself. It made me never want to work out again. It made me feel like healthy eating was such a chore and not a pleasure. And it made me feel like I was the biggest problem in my own life, that healthy habits were never going to be what I could have. I got to the point one day where I actually felt like I had run out of things to try. I was on Pinterest in my bedroom on a Saturday, ready to start over on Monday, trying to find something I hadn't tried yet. Every diet, every workout plan, every cutting out a certain food to fix whatever intolerance or imbalance I had literally tried everything. And even though I was physically strong, I was eating healthy, I was hydrated, I was journaling, I was doing all of the self-care things, I was convinced that I wasn't doing enough. I felt like there was something I still had to fix because in my head, I should be doing more. And if I was doing enough, I would see those results in my body, right? So I got out my journal and I listed out, just like I did so many Saturdays of that year, everything that I was gonna do starting Monday to fix this. The expectations that I laid out for myself for my health and wellness were so unrealistic looking back on it now. And I don't know how I ever thought that one person could humanly have the time or energy that it would take for me to work out consistently, cook every meal at home, have time to grocery shop, clean the house, go to work, journal, skincare, everything. I was putting so much pressure on myself that starting Monday, I was gonna be the perfect version of myself. And as I was writing it out on that Saturday, like I had so many times before, that was the moment that I finally realized that I wasn't the problem, that this wasn't realistic, that the problem with me not being able to achieve my best health and wellness long term was that I had these unrealistic expectations for myself. I was putting so much pressure on myself to be so all or nothing with my wellness, to have it all figured out as soon as possible, only seeing the end point instead of appreciating the process of working my way up in the gym or working myself towards cooking more meals at home. This all or nothing mindset made me see my health as so black and white, meaning that if I ate one bad food that day, I felt like I had ruined my entire day of healthy eating. And if I took one rest day from the gym, I felt like I had completely ruined the track I was on to get to my physical goals. It gave me this momentary high on those Saturdays and Sundays when I was listing out everything I was gonna do to be the perfect version of me, but I so quickly came crashing down and everything started to feel like a chore. It started to feel more like a hangover that I was dragging myself through, just trying to keep up with this better version of myself that I had in my head. And then I would always eventually fall off the wagon. and I would blame myself and it would feel awful. Me realizing that this was a cycle I was stuck in and not an actual problem with myself is what allowed me to finally figure out how to have the most consistent self-loving health habits of my life. This is how I stopped burning out in the gym or with my home cooking, how I actually love to work out and eat my fruits and veggies and do my journaling and make time for self-care every single week for years now. I don't want to snooze my alarm clock. I don't want to eat out because I'm too tired to cook at home. I have broken the cycle, and it doesn't have to be complicated for you to do it too. Now, the first problem you have if you're stuck in this cycle is only focusing on the end point or this perfect version of yourself versus each small step you're going to take on the way to get to that version of yourself. It makes you feel totally lost and overwhelmed on how to actually get there because you haven't visualized each small step on the way or made it okay to be exactly where you are right now. Now, when you're stuck in this cycle, you have all of these past failures behind you as well, all these times that you burnt out or you fell off the wagon, and you're letting those memories keep you stuck because you don't believe that this time you'll actually make it work. Even if you want it, you're struggling to believe that you're capable of it or that you deserve it. That's why taking the same approach every single time isn't fulfilling for you. It's why you need to do something different to get to these consistent habits instead of going all in and then falling off the wagon all over again. You also probably have these conflicting thoughts of what's actually realistic and best for you versus what you think you should be doing. And having those conflicting thoughts in your brain really messes us up when we're trying to change our lifestyle. The habits that you know are probably most realistic for you and therefore best for you often don't feel like they're good enough because we often don't feel like we're doing enough if we're not overwhelmed or suffering or overextended or exhausted. Versus the habits that you do think are good enough are often what would be praised or deemed good enough by other people, not yourself. These are things like weight loss, eating healthier, whatever that means to you, going to the gym a certain amount of times a week. Yes, going to the gym and eating healthy are really valuable, healthy habits to have, but what that looks like for you in your realistic life versus what that looks like in your head of what it should look like are two different things, and we gotta make those two match. And overall, you're stuck in this cycle because you lack the accountability you need to break it. Breaking cycles, breaking habits, breaking mindsets down that don't serve you takes time, it takes support, and it takes the right information. And it's perfectly okay that you haven't figured that out yet on your own. A lot of people don't. It's why I'm a coach. It's why so many people work with me. I'm able to provide that information that I had to learn through my own struggle over months and years of being stuck in this cycle so that they don't have to waste their time and energy being stuck like that too. But having the support of somebody who's been there and having the accountability that even when it gets tough, even when you don't have the motivation, even when you're feeling defeated, to keep showing up for yourself, that's what you need in order to make changes long term, because this is a lot of unlearning and relearning, and that takes practice. And that's what a coach is able to help you have. Every time I teach on this topic with my clients, I can't help but think about all of the months and years that I spent stuck in this cycle myself. I was so caught up in just trying to solve what was wrong with me, why I couldn't lose weight or feel confident in myself, that I missed out on so many things in my life that were right in front of me. Dinners with friends, time with my partner, actually feeling confident with him, opportunities at work, as well as so many experiences with food and movement that I either couldn't or wouldn't have because I wasn't physically capable or I wasn't confident enough. Everything from long hikes on hiking trips with my friends to going to a workout class that I wouldn't go to because I was too nervous for other people to see my body. There is so much life that I had to miss out on because I had to take the time to figure out how to break this cycle so that I could actually find consistent, healthy habits. And that's why I teach other people how to break this cycle now, so that they can really find their best health and wellness mentally and physically without worrying what anybody else's version of that looks like or what they think. Now, obviously, a really big part of this topic, a really big part of breaking out of these habits and mindsets for you is going to be stopping that comparison within yourself. So I'm going to make sure that the video I have on that is the next thing that you can watch because it needs its own training. It's its own topic, and so many of us struggle with it. But in that video, I'll teach you why you often compare yourself to other people and how to break out of that habit, because awareness that you're comparing yourself isn't enough to break the habit on its own. And you can get even farther into this journey so that you are able to break these cycles, to find your best health and wellness, and really start to love the body that you're in as you are right now. And as always, this is something that I work with people on professionally every single day. If you want to optimize your fitness, your nutrition, your body image, your self-confidence, and your self-care, that is what I coach people on. You can always reach out to me via email. It's in the description of the video, or you can message me on Instagram, which is linked on my page. See you next time. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta get to the gym.